Okay, so I'm just going to share a little bit of my story. And I wrote it all down. So, having lupus can be incredibly difficult at times. When I was diagnosed, my whole life changed. Good and bad things have come out of this experience. I've learned to appreciate my life more, and I found out just how lucky I really am. Lupus has allowed me to work harder towards my dreams and has brought my family and I closer. Some days everything seems to go perfectly, but eventually know that a bad day, week, or month will come by. I've had lupus for a little over 2 years now, and I can't see my life any other way. When you have lupus, you don't know what to expect, and you just have to be prepared for the worst. At the young age of 14, everything changed. Everything happened so quickly, but I can remember every moment, and it still haunts me to this day. I can remember not being able to walk up the stairs without my dad's help. My shoes didn't fit because of the swelling. My hands were turning blue from the knots, and every morning I'd wake up 2 hours before school to take a Tylenol. My life was suddenly changing. I went from an 8th grader that was expected to play basketball in college to a 9th grader that could no longer open a water bottle. My world was totally flipped around, and I was someone I thought I'd never be. I was another statistic, and a sick child. A month before I was diagnosed, I had trials for this team called the Vegas Elite, but my body was slowly shutting down. I kept playing. I wouldn't give up, and I had no idea what was really going on in my body. After that night, I changed into a totally different person, and I had to grow up and fast. After a month of pain and getting blood drawn over 20 times, I learned just how tough I really was. Then in March of 2008, I was told that I had lupus. I had no idea what lupus was, but the first question I asked was if I could ever play basketball again, and the doctor told me no. The tears that I had been holding back then came out. It was just too much to take in all at once. After that day, I can't remember anything. I was in the house that whole summer, and only one friend came over every once in a while. I went from having basketball every day to sitting in the house and watching all 6 seasons of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Eventually, I was able to find the motivation and confidence to step outside the house. I started bike riding. It was easy on my joints and allowed me to get rid of stress. I knew that sitting around wasn't going to do me any good, and school and basketball season were right around the corner. Getting back into basketball my sophomore year, after being sick for 5 months, was not easy. There were many times when I was ready to give up, but I knew I couldn't. I would never forgive myself. Once tryouts finally came, I was ready with lupus. I ended up making varsity, and I'm proud to say that I'm working on making varsity my 4th year in a row with lupus. Some don't think that lupus is a life-threatening disease, but at times it can be. My dreams have altered, but I now help people through YouTube. Over 200 different people have contacted me within the last 2 years asking for my advice and help. So many people tell me that I'm an inspiration, but the truth is that anyone with lupus is.